Start it. All right, welcome everybody. This is the November 19th contributor call for nteract. Welcome. Cool. So I'm going to start off, at least for me. So a bunch of the bookstore stuff was kicked off. And it's a little messy trying to work with some of the synchronization primitives from Tornado in order to use locks and mutexes within it. And I think for reviewers to look at it, because they may not realize that there's an event loop in Tornado versus like Dingo or Flask, where you can actually have multiple threads. In Tornado, there's only one thread. Anyway, so there's a PR up. I'm hoping to finish it and see if I can end up with some good, clean, stable code. And I got integration testing working, so that's awesome. We can test against S3, which is fantastic. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Tornado 5, right?
Tornado 5, because 6 isn't out yet.
Right, and then Python 3 only?
Yeah, Python 3 only.
3, 6, or 7?
3.6.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, otherwise, 3.5's a pain because you have to do things a little differently.
Oh, yeah. It's really nice using the async await stuff right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. And because we're like that far into the future, I started using MyPy.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Because I think it's okay to push notebook servers to run on later Pythons. So, cool.
I guess I can give a little status update. There isn't much for me right now, but I got stuff coming up. So Papermill, I missed the last couple meetings, but since then, Papermill got to one of its goals. So it's above, or it's exactly at 90% test coverage. We had to do some fixes for Bodo Core, which broke something. So in the process, I went and ripped out all the extra S3 junk that we didn't need. And I started talking with Kyle a bit about when we go to 1.0 of maybe making all the different IO registers optional installs on the package, simply because as we have like everything merging in with Azure and S3 and there's some HDFS PRs open, the number of dependencies for doing really lightweight things will get really high. So I was looking at when we go to 1.0, just breaking those apart a little bit. So you'd have to install Papermill all the like different connectors or specify the ones you want. And then I'm talking with there's two different startups I got connected with that were both interested in Scrapbook and nteract stuff. So I'm kind of just spending like an hour or two with each of them to get a sense if they're, going to want to contribute or if it's a fit for what they're trying to do. Yeah. And what else have I worked coming up? Oh, I might spend a little more time on Scrapbook in particular, just to get the like initial ball rolling there. I kind of set up the repo, but I haven't done anything else. Probably do a few other cleanup tasks when I'm out traveling in 2 weeks. That's probably when I'll get a bunch of things done. I think the only thing left on the, let's see what's left on the 1.0. Need to double check. I went through and started updating things. Oh yeah, I still have to do the out of memory crash experience thing and figure out how to monitor the sub process better. But otherwise, everything there is coming along pretty well.
Don't everybody start at once.
I added some filters. I already mentioned this when you weren't here. So
we weren't recording though. So
very initial filtering for the data grid. React Table has a built-in sort of filter setting, and then you can just define the kinds of filters. So we're actually, we can go to town if people have requests for different ways to filter things. I'm not sure. I know, Matt, that you originally pointed me at a more sort of involved sort of pop-up filter panel for the grid. But I'm going to go with this sort of what the UX that React Table has built in for now. But if anybody wants to take a look at that on the branch, it's got just a button above the data grid that says show hide filters. And it gives a simple sort of string index filter for strings, which I think I'll add regex to that too. And then greater than, equal to, or less than filter for numbers. And like I said, anybody who wants to point me at sort of more robust filtering UI, that'd be great. And then, the Data Explorer has just been cleaned up a bit. Bennett made some commits, and I was in there sort of cleaning stuff up a bit and making it a little bit more performant.
Yeah, I think also the example I gave you was just if you wanted to have something on your work had inspiration. So don't feel like I was suggesting we should use exactly how it looks, because I definitely think it had a very particular use case.
Well, I mean, I liked it more than what I ended up implementing, but I ended up implementing that because it just had built-in support within React Table, so it was a lot more performant.
Yeah, that UI there, I remember took a little bit to build.
Yeah, and then adding the filtering and everything. The React Table thing, it's because it's built into React Table, it's using whatever it's already using for its data structure under the hood, instead of me re-filtering it and then rebinding it to the table element. So I'm going to go with this for now, and build it out just as much as anybody wants more filters built out, or we can just ship with these initial sort of simple filters. If there's no filter defined for a particular data type, then it just doesn't show a filter. So that can sort of show up later when somebody says, hey, why can't I filter my, I don't know, hex data or something, whatever kind of data structures are under the hood that aren't numbers, integers, or strings. And I mean, I know dates are one that actually seems kind of challenging to me, because I don't want to build in an entire calendar control with like a minimum and maximum date based on the data, and then just be on the hook for supporting that, because calendar filtering is such a hassle. But by the same vein, now that I've described it, I can say that that's totally feasible if it turns out that that's a big time use case. So
I mean, there's like other stuff on the website to get people into nteract that we could probably focus on before we fine tune more of Data Explorer.
Yeah.
Finish more integration work there.
And to that point, I mean, outside of Data Explorer, the thing that I wanted to focus on next actually was looking at Papermill and looking at the UI in Papermill. Matt had already sort of talked to me a bit about that, and so maybe we can get a little bit on the side of things and I can take a look and see how easy it is to contribute over there.
You'll find the UI for Papermill there is no UI.
Very efficient, very, very clean, right?
It is actually a pretty clean code base. It's like less than 1,000 lines, or it might be more now that people have been contributing more.
Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
Well,
okay.
Papermill's a command line tool, Elijah. We just run it on it gets run in jobs, so everything's headless. But I don't know, was there something you were going after, Matt? Was it about how we represent a parameter cell and that stuff?
I think it was mostly things like, how we tag things in nteract for when we're see the result of a notebook, and particularly making sure the hide cells. I know we started working on the hide inputs, hide outputs. People run report mode and expect things to be hidden. I'm not sure how much we respect that right now. That was about the only thing I think of. And then,
yeah, that sounds like some good cleanup and standardization. Since
I
we've
think just
dealt with different kinds of hide input, they're in the code base, and I think we're in this sad state where we have to flip 3 sets of metadata when toggling if a cell is hidden or not, because of these different extensions that all do it. Now we just have to adhere to all of them.
Well, at least, it's frustrating.
Yeah, we've got to push a standard and say that's the one, and then eventually deprecate the others.
Well, that reminded me, the other thing that I pushed was some initial sort of persistent metadata support for Data Explorer. And I think that got merged, didn't it?
Yep.
Right. So maybe we can sync up and now wire it up to the other side and figure that out.
Yeah.
Did we ever get the, I haven't looked, you could tell my ignorance on this front. Did we ever get the like Data Explorer editing the cell metadata all the way like plumb through?
Yeah, so that's what Elijah was just talking about. So he's got it so the component can receive it. The next
Yeah.
thing is that the callbacks have to be passed through.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure what was left there.
Yep. And I want Elijah to figure out how to work with the Redux setup to pass the actions through so that he can touch more of the app. So otherwise, I used to just be tempted to just close that loop. This time, make it be Elijah.
On a good note, you won't be able to butcher it worse than we've already probably butchered things. I did also, it was kind of unrelated to, I've also been trying to push the report mode on Jupyter Core just so that one of those modes works, but it's been kind of all silent on that front, despite there having been a thread about everything.
Can you ping me on that PR, Matt?
I haven't made the PR. I just was like, there was this huge thread that I was like asking if this is the only change I would have to make. So I might just try and do it when I'm traveling next and on an airplane. But like they had this like, I don't know, like 10 different 20 responses. And at the end of it, it was like, oh, we're just not going to do it. This is in Jupyter.
Like which Jupyter?
Jupyter Core.
Client?
I'll pull it up. Anyway, I'll link it to you over Slack.
Maybe.
But I was like looking into like if it seemed like it wasn't too bad of a change, but people didn't want to touch it because it wasn't in Jupyter Lab. So
okay.
Or rather, Jupyter Lab is going to respect it, or it already does, but they didn't want to add it also to
Okay, that makes sense.
Classic.
But
I just had people asking through paper mail channels like why report mode wasn't being respected, and I was like,
Oh, I found it. I'll link it in the Google Doc.
It might be harder than I think it is, but it didn't look like it was impossible.
No, most of the holdup in the past was a different thing preventing people from wanting to implement that change. So now it's more just kind of like inertia. So
yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I might take a stab at that if no one else does, just because it's like comes through the paper mail channel a lot.
Yep.
maybe we could loop Thomas in.
I think Thomas is a fan.
I was just thinking that would be a good person on the Jupyter side, maybe to link.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So my week was fairly quiet. I did some work on trying to get the Scala kernels running with nteract, and the installation process, as Em had said, was actually quite entertaining. I think if we're going to do a preview at this point in time, for folks, it needs to be in a Docker container of some sort because there's too many dependencies. And then I've just been reviewing Kyle's stuff and a little doc stuff here and there. And then I'm out for the next 2 weeks. So
We're gonna miss you.
Somewhere fun.
Somewhere fun. Actually, Argentina.
Nice.
And then Washington, D.C.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, should be fun.
Cool. Safi is going to be joining us full-time, like on nteract, not full-time Netflix, since there's like a confusion of we and us, in about 2 weeks. So it'll be a good kickoff. And in 2 weeks, getting a new colleague, Shelby Sturgis. He's made PRs. He's Storm Python on GitHub. So we'll get some other good folks He's a data viz engineer and is branching into more UI engineering stuff. And he'll be joining us full time too. So more good UI work on nteract.
I was planning on getting the kernels page fixed, and I'm working with Safia because I ran into a roadblock with the React Style Guide is custom Webpack template for Google Analytics. Yesterday or last week, I didn't get much done.
Still awesome.
Oh.
It's
Sorry. Carol, at some point, we never fixed the long README for the Papermill PyPy package.
Yes.
And someone brought it up the other day, and I was like, "Oh, right, we had never fixed that."
Yeah.
If
Is
you,
there an open issue for it or no?
I don't think there is. I'll make one.
Just maybe say like next time we're going to cut it should be a very straightforward fix.
Yeah, I just hadn't looked into it. I was gonna cut a release this week just because someone put a bug fix in that seemed to be
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at that later. So
okay. I'll make an issue for it.
cool.
Well, I guess I can go now. So I just got back on nteract. I was working on. We noticed when I imported a Jupyter notebook into nteract that I had some raw cells. So previous we added the ability to read the raw cells, and then last night I added the feature to add a raw cell. But I ran into some issues, so I need to go back and fix that later. But that's about it for me. And this is pretty much my first meeting, so thanks guys for entertaining me. But I'll be coming more. I'm Kyle's brother, younger brother.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're sorry.
Yeah, he used to beat up on me all the time. No, it's all good though. Thanks guys.
Welcome.
cool. I think that about covers it all then. Thanks everyone. Enjoy your Thanksgiving week. And I'll see you all online.
Yep. Bye everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
See you.